Welcome to My Training Thoughts, the first podcast ever on wheels. Y'all, it's the one and only Yadi Winfrey. We got a real special guest in the building, Renee Graziano.
Hey.
What's going on? Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, man. I definitely appreciate it. This is definitely different from My Training Thoughts. This is a different one, man.
Why is it different?
You the second female that I ever interviewed or
Okay.
chopped it up what I want to say because I don't want it to sound like an interview, like it's just questions and shit. But and it we stepping outside of our
Comfort zone?
yeah.
Okay, so we're all mobbed up tonight.
Yeah, we mobbed up. That's
There you go. We mobbed up tonight.
exactly. Speaking of the mob, you was on
What mob?
with mob. Speaking, you was on Mob Wives,
Mob,
the TV
yeah,
show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We can talk
You
about
know-
that.
For those that don't know, tell them you from Staten.
Oh, so I am actually born in Brooklyn. I moved out of Brooklyn when I'm from Bensonhurst, which kind of the voice and the whole look gives
Yeah.
Bensonhurst vibes.
Yeah.
I moved to Staten Island when I was 3. I'm now 53. So I've been here for a really long time. I left about maybe 6 years ago. I moved out to Jersey when I'm sorry, 4, when my dad passed away. And I just recently moved to Florida.
Oh, bro, shout out to Florida, man. I was just out there too.
Yeah, people say it's that snowbird. I'm like, no, I'm a snow bunny. I don't want to be a snowbird. I don't want to be a bird. I want to be
Yeah.
a bunny.
Yeah, we don't want no birds allowed, man.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
That's a fact.
Nothing birdie about me anyway.
Yeah, that's a fact. I seen one of your captions on your Instagram. It said, and I wanted to touch on this first and foremost. I really wanted to start it off with this.
All right, go.
But I said, let me just
All
let
right,
her
I'm ready
introduce
now.
herself.
Okay.
Finding myself has been a lot easier than losing myself.
Ooh.
Let's touch on that a little bit. I felt that too. I'm not gonna even lie. I felt that.
Wow.
But if you had to say that.
Okay, so wow.
Yeah.
So I've been going through some changes in my life, and I'm realizing that being a woman and being very vocal,
Mhm.
some men aren't attracted to a very strong personality and a big mouth. Unless it's in the bedroom, then they don't care. However, I am me. So when I said finding myself has been easier than losing myself because I've been lost for so many years.
Wow.
So I didn't even realize I was lost.
Right.
So finding myself, it was like all of a sudden someone said something to me a few days ago, and it snapped me, and it snapped me right back to, oh, I'm Renee Graziano.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not just Anthony's daughter,
Yeah.
but I'm Renee Graziano.
Yeah.
I have my own name.
Self-made.
Right. And that's what it was. I've always been Anthony's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been AJ's mother. I was, my ex-husband's, wife at the time, no longer attached. The mob wife, the reality show, like all these different things. But I was never just Renee.
Right.
I was bullied really bad in school, terribly. I was told how ugly I was, and all of these really sad, messed up things that I'm allowed to curse.
Yeah, you curse.
Okay.
It's this your show.
Okay, that
Yeah.
fucked me up all of my life. So
Yeah.
since maybe 3rd grade, I've been suffering with something, and it's called low self-esteem. It's called very little self-worth. My worth came with my last name. My last name is very expensive.
Yeah.
So I thought I was. No, I liked expensive things. I didn't realize my worth needs to be as expensive
Right.
as my passion and my heart. Because that's what my worth is.
Right.
In here. And I'm worth a lot.
Absolutely.
Everyone is worth a lot. Let me say that. Unless you're doing something wrong to a child, you ain't worth shit. But aside from that, you're worth something. And I think in a time like this in this world, we need to love people.
Yeah.
Like I love love. I
Yeah.
think love is the
Yeah,
greatest
me and you
thing.
both.
I'm like, I love love, and I'm a
Right.
Cancer on top of it. So I'm like
shout out to y'all.
I'm like this
I like
mushy human, Yeah, but thank you for that because I was like,
Thank you.
I didn't think that would ever affect anybody.
Yeah, nah, for real. I seen that. I said, yeah, we gotta touch on that. For real, that was that shit, it stood out to me for real because, like you said, it's definitely easier finding yourself. I know for me it is.
You think it's easier to find yourself than lose yourself?
Yeah, because I think you got more control finding yourself?
It's easy to lose yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? Secure.
Right.
You lose yourself in seconds.
That's true.
I've been insecure all my life.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, blah blah. You know, nobody will ever want me. Nobody will ever want to date me. So, truth of the story is, I got married because I was now 20 years old, and I'm like, oh my God, this man tells me nobody wants me. No one's gonna marry me. Maybe he's right.
Yeah.
And that's what. And I got married for all the wrong reasons, but I got lost immediately. So I think losing yourself might be easier.
Think so?
Well, maybe, excuse me. For me,
Okay.
losing myself was, I've been lost for so long too.
Right.
So now when someone used one specific word, it triggered everything inside me. I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
I think they got me fucked up.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Like, you know, the whole attitude. And I was like, and that's why I put it to that picture.
I like the picture too, man. That was
Thank
a dope.
you.
That was a dope flick. So you said Renee Graziano. So who is Renee Graziano? If you had to say, like,
Okay. She's a really cool glamour.
I get that. I get really dope person. I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
I get dope person off the rip.
I think I got a dope soul.
Yeah.
I love love. I love to help people. So I think I'm loving, caring, compassionate. I am I'm aggressive.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. If I want something, I'm going to get it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's mine.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't want me, I'm gonna make sure that it never gets anything. No.
Like
No,
what though?
like if you, okay, so if you shut me down, let's say a man.
You speaking like, oh yeah, that's what I'm asking. You
Right,
speaking
right.
like about
Like if a
person,
man
yeah.
was to shut me down in a way that would make me feel small,
Yeah.
brace yourself.
Give me an example.
You should move. Like,
Oh,
I'm not that type. Like, don't try to belittle me by any
Okay,
means.
okay.
Because I've spent years being belittled
Right.
and mentally tortured. So now you look at me, you say something slick,
Yeah.
you're gonna wish you never even spoke to me.
Yeah.
Because and I don't have to do it verbally.
I was gonna ask you that. That was my next question. Is it verbally or just like
I'll
your
usually
whole...
check you quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say something that'll take your manhood in seconds.
Mm.
But that's another thing that goes back to that quote about finding myself.
Okay.
I'm learning that not everything I say is necessary. Sometimes just turning around and walking away with nothing said, just like my tattoo says, shh,
Fire.
walk away.
Yeah.
And you can impact a person way more
That's
than
true.
fuck you, you're a jerk off, you don't deserve, you know what I mean? Because then my whole Brooklyn attitude comes out and then my mob shit comes out of my
Right.
mouth. You should be in a fucking trunk. Like, I can't talk like that. It's really not sexy. It's not, but I think I'm leaning on my phone.
It's on silent though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
But I was leaning on a button. That's
Oh.
why it was vibrating in my pocketbook. I got a
Okay.
little excited for a second. I was like, oh, maybe it's a date. And no, I meant the phone vibrating. That was my date. The phone was
Yeah,
my
yeah.
date.
Oh, you got a date tonight?
No, I was joking. My phone
Oh.
was vibrating. I
Oh,
said,
right,
maybe
right.
I got a date.
Oh, right. So your dad was like. Tell us a little bit about your dad. He was
Well, ask the question
he,
you want to ask.
he was a mob boss, right? He was like a.
My father was a consigliere of the Bonanno crime family. Yes, my father was a boss.
How was that growing up?
My father was born a boss.
Mm.
So let me start by saying, my father, he was born on Lower East Side. My mom's from Hell's Kitchen. My father his parents had my dad, and he had 3 sisters. And then my grandpa had 3 more girls and 1 son, and then my grandmother continued. So my father's like one of 11.
Okay.
He was the boss, period. He took care of everything for
He was
everybody.
the youngest, or
No, he was second oldest.
all right.
But he just did everything for everyone. And this is like growing up all his life. He experienced some traumatic stuff when he was very young, which I found out only after he passed away. So I will tell you, my father was a boss at 12.
Dope.
12.
That's fine. What's his son?
Scorpio.
Oh, my mom
Run.
is Scorpio. Shout out to them.
What?
Yeah, they bought
You're a
stuff. for sure.
Scorpio?
My mom's a Scorpio. I'm a
Oh.
Leo.
You're a
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, you in the zodiac sign?
Yeah, I love it.
What they say about Leos?
Strong, opinionated. Don't violate them in any
Yeah,
way.
no, Yeah.
Yeah, they'll argue just to make their point.
Yeah.
If they're right, if they're not right, they'll just be quiet about it. They ain't apologizing. Right. I can tell you everything about Scorpio. Woo!
Yeah, my mom's a Scorpio too. She a boss. She
My
her whole
father,
mentality.
my sister,
Yeah.
my ex-husband, my granddaughter.
Damn.
Somebody in
Oh,
my
you
life
surrounded-
now. Like I'm wait, and then there's Taurus, my mother, my son, my grandson. So it's Scorpio and Taurus.
Taurus season coming up too. My brother Taurus, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I lived with people who were gonna bite you and poison you at any second, but on their
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
like that's a Scorpio. And then the Taurus, oh, you're gonna get hit with those horns one way or another. So being a Cancer, I had all the emotion. Nobody in my family has emotion. Nobody.
Oh, you was a sensitive one.
What a
Cancers
mess.
Cancers are.
I'm a crybaby.
But y'all loyal though. Y'all
loyal.
Y'all loyal
Listen,
people.
I'm so loyal that it's actually been to a fault.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem. Loyal to a fault. And that was me in my marriage, yes. But back to my father, who is
Yeah.
the most loyal man ever.
Yeah.
He's my hero. He's my Superman. He's my Captain America. He's like, he was the greatest thing that, aside from my son and my grandchildren, that God gave me, was my dad. And that automatically gets me emotional. Because it was coming up on 4 years that he passed.
Wow.
And
My condolences all to
thank
him
you.
too.
He was brilliant. Man had a 7th grade education. Couldn't read or write. But you're the boss.
Mhm.
So you can be a boss without
Yeah.
that
absolutely.
schooling. However, you should go to school, but make it for something that you want to be in life. Apply it to something you really want to be. You want to be a boss? Take finances. You know what I mean? Like, learn about money. You know, it doesn't mean you got to be standing on the street corner. It doesn't mean that you got to be the doctor. It doesn't mean that you got to be the lawyer. Although the lawyer, you're going to need a lawyer, so you might want to study law too. But I think for me, my father was just, he emulated greatness.
Yeah.
I miss him.
That's dope. How was that growing up, like, with your pops being like, like such a high caliber?
So, I was in like,
And when did you find out, like, yo, my pops is really one of them guys?
okay. So I was very different. And I just had said this in the Math Hoffa interview. Like,
Yeah.
I knew I was different.
Mm-hmm.
The candy man would come and the other parents would buy candy for their child. My father bought the truck out and gave it out to the kids.
Mm.
The holidays came. Everybody had everything. I had a fur coat at 7. I had a diamond nameplate. Like and I'm talking about material things because when you're young, you don't know.
I was getting ready to say, did
right.
you know that you was like,
Well,
with a
you
fur
can-
coat?
Well, nobody else has a fur coat but me.
Yeah.
Nobody
yeah.
else is riding around
You
limousines
just know
but
I'm
me.
different. Like, I'm the only one with this, like,
I'm
something.
allowed backstage
Yeah.
at Radio City Music
Yeah.
Hall for like the Rockettes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I knew there was something spectacular because we were always in limousines. You know what I mean? Like, at 16 years old, I was going to a place called Regine's in New York. So, 53. I can't do the math because my brain is burnt. But Regine's back then, which is what, like 30-something years ago, right? A drink was $22.
What is that, like a club?
It was the most high-profile, like, dinner social club you could
Okay.
ever go in. So if I'm talking about 30 years ago.
Where was
like
it
30,
located?
46, longer than that. 53 and 16 is what? 37 years, right? 37 years ago, my drinks were $22. Think about that.
They just started making drinks $22.
Okay,
in
think about that.
2023.
That's where I was going
That's
at
crazy.
16. Red carpets.
Yeah. And
place
this is
was
where, in Manhattan?
In Manhattan on
Okay.
Park Avenue in like high 50s or early 60s. But you would get there, and his name was George, and I will never forget him. I had a crush on the doorman. And he would pull me from the car, and he'd be like, Miss Graziano, please.
Yeah.
And he would escort me in, and I'd be like, Daddy. So he'd be like, don't talk to nobody.
So they was addressing you as Miss Graziano at 16?
They were addressing me probably as Miss Graziano probably earlier than that.
Wow.
But when my father would make that phone call,
Yeah.
it would be like, oh, it's Anthony's daughter, it's Anthony's daughter, it's Anthony's
Okay.
daughter. I'd be like, excuse
Yeah.
me, I'm Anthony's daughter. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it. Oh, I ate that shit up. I would bypass everybody on the line. I would flip my fur coat over my shoulder. And my
Living the
little
life.
sister, who's the was the producer of Mob Wives, creator, executive, everything. She would go on the back of the line and be like, "You are the most embarrassing person in the world." Yeah.
Wow, you was like
I was
extra,
like, extra?
extra
Oh,
cocky, extra conceited with
okay.
it.
Do you know who Joan Collins is?
Yeah.
Okay. And Diane Carroll? I
Yeah.
thought I was them. I kid you not, I did. They would
Ain't
call
that
me.
wrong-
They
ain't
called
nothing wrong
me
with that.
Alexis Carrington. It was like a
Yeah.
joke. Yeah, I was extra.
So that's some of the pros of growing up with your pops being who he was. What was some of like the cons?
Ew.
Like if you could remember your first like traumatic experiences as a child, like
13, they arrested my father. They kicked the door down. And I remember they had a warrant. I didn't
Yeah.
know what anything like this was. And I was like, "Give me the phone number. I'm calling the judge." My father was like, "Please, Renee, stop this." I was like, "Daddy, they can't take you." I was like hysterical. Like I was distraught. Like, you're putting my father in handcuffs?
Yeah.
There's sledgehammers in the house? What are you breaking our wall? Like, I had no clue. And that was my first traumatic experience. My second one was when the kids in my class glued the article to my desk. And that just talked about my dad being locked up. And then I learned my power. My father was like, "Don't ever let anybody ever talk to you any type of way.
yeah,
You either tell me or this is how you talk." And as soon as he gave me that green light,
yeah,
my voice started to develop. And I was very bold. And I've never backed down from a fight, but I never had a fight because I was Anthony's daughter. Who's going to touch me? You know what I mean? Like, you going to be brave enough? Okay.
Yeah.
But I never stayed with girls, neither. I always stayed with the guys. So I always knew that I was safe. And I was only really allowed to stay within my community. So everybody was a wise guy's son, a wise guy's daughter. So we were all the same.
yeah.
I think I learned yeah. So I was at a nightclub one night with my best friend who's away now, has been away for like ever, wise guy. And a guy comes around the bar and he's like, "Oh, you know TG's daughter." They used to call my father TG. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, her father's a captain." I go, "My father doesn't drive a boat." I had no clue what the fuck that meant. And I was 17, turning 17. So I didn't know, fully know. I knew, but I didn't know. And my friend said, "You need to go home and talk to your father." I went home and I was crying. And my father was like, "What's wrong, Renee? What happened to you? Who touched you?" I was like, "Dad, do you drive a boat for a living?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "Do you sail a ship?" He was like, "Renee, what are you talking about?" I go, "You're a captain." And he was like, "Who said that to you?" And I was like, "What does it mean?" And he was like, "Sit down." And all he basically said to me was, "You're different. You don't talk about it. You never say those words, but you never have a worry in life. Daddy's never going to die, and I'm always going to be here for you." I firmly believed my father was going to live forever. That when he died, I was destroyed. Because I really believed this man was invincible. So I think like when dads try to tell their children, "Daddy could do this and Daddy could do that," unfortunately, my father couldn't do it because he had to leave Earth. However, I know my father's up there making things happen. Still like this whole conversation is based around that type of energy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of gives me this like feeling of, yeah, I am your daughter. That's right. Like I am my father's daughter.
Yeah.
And proud.
That's what's up. What's some of the what would you say some of the things that he instilled in you from early on besides like?
Oh, I was 8. I'll tell you how I learned about not ratting. Okay.
8 years old?
8. This is like my biggest lesson in life in general, but it crippled me later on. So my sister's 9 years older than me, and my father was a big...
There was only 2 of y'all?
No, there's 3 of us.
Oh, 3,
my
okay.
oldest sister, Lana, she's 9 years older. My sister, Jennifer's 3.5 years younger.
All right.
So my father was a big gambler, and he used to have this big paper mache piggy bank, and he would come home from gambling and stuff it with all the big money, right? Stuff it with all the money. And he would always say, "We're going to break this bank, me and you." And I would get to it because we used to count money.
So you was the closest to your father than your siblings?
Okay, so my older sister, My parents were very young. My mom was 16.
Okay.
My father was 19 when my sister was born, but my father was in the street. So going back to he was always a boss. My father had 3 jobs.
Mm.
He pushed a hand truck. He worked in a restaurant. Like my father was always hustling, always a boss.
Yeah.
Took care of everything. So he was in the street. So she didn't have, he was out all the time. I came around 9 years later. I was very ill when I was born. I had very high fevers. I couldn't leave the hospital. I was always in the hospital. So there was more of an attachment with me and my dad.
Right.
My father, probably, he knew how to check his emotion, but he had emotion. And then my little sister became the favorite later on because she's an NYU graduate, first to graduate. I was like the first to just fuck up. No, Lana was the first to fuck up. I was the second. But I think he had higher hopes for me.
Right.
And then I married my son's father, so all those hopes went out the window. So anyway, long story short, my sister Lana used to rob the piggy bank every night after my father would gamble. So I would play chicky. So she would get the salad
What
tongs.
is that, chicky?
Okay.
It's like a board game or something?
No. Chicky is like you watching for the cops. Like, you know what I mean? What is that called?
Like cops and robbers or something?
No, like, lookout. Somebody's the lookout.
Oh, chicky. Okay.
Chicky. We call it chicky, right?
All right.
So I would have to stand in the hallway. She would have the salad tongs and the flashlight, and she would be pulling all the money out. Okay. One day my father goes, let's crack the bank. He gets the hammer, puts me on the table. I was this I was super skinny. And he put me on the table, and we cracked the thing, and he goes, where's all the money? I go, Lana took it. Boom. He says, don't you ever fucking tell on anybody ever again in your life. I said,
did he know she took it? Was he just testing you? Or
no. He asked me a question, and I answered it.
And off impulse, he told you don't ever do.
He asked me a question,
Yeah.
I answered it. In his eyes, I ratted.
Yeah. Wow.
That's how I learned. That stuck with me.
That's a good lesson.
No,
man.
it is not.
We learned early on no tattling.
No. Let me tell you what that no tattling did to me. I never told on the man that was beating me. I never told on the man that was abusing me because I was afraid of the repercussions for them. Because I knew what it was going to come down to. You know what I mean? I knew. So I'd rather sacrifice myself than somebody else get hurt.
Right.
And that is not a good lesson to teach anybody. You are supposed to, and I am saying this, I don't give a fuck who he is, man. I don't give a fuck who calls me a name. If somebody is sexually abusing you, you tell whoever the fuck you got to tell.
Right.
Okay? Whether it's your father, your brother. I'm sorry, some people are normal people, and they go to the cops. You do whatever you have to do to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
I should have did that. I didn't.
But on the flip side of things, why you think your father was so big on that, like not telling?
My father was a criminal.
So it's slightly different.
Okay, time
with
out.
Civilians and criminals, right?
Wait.
Even with men and women. But
he wasn't just a criminal. My father was a very stand-up, true to his word, loyal man. So it's not just criminal activity.
Loyalty.
So let me take that back. Let me take criminal out of that.
Yeah.
My father was a man of his word.
Yeah.
My father always said you have 2 things, your name and your word.
Absolutely.
So I think he was very, my father never ratted. My father's been in and out of jail. My father, you know what I mean? He was going to do his time. Right. As he did. 4 of them. He did 4 bids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
But you took what he said literal. And for the rest of your life.
Hell yeah. That smack kind of hurt at 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I could imagine.
But it was also, I would have never disappointed my dad. My life was my dad.
So when y'all decided to do, you said your sister started, she was the main director of...
she's the executive producer and the creator.
How was that? Like, for y'all to, like, make y'all life public?
My father,
was it like,
bad.
Was there any, like, hesitation?
Not
like,
for me.
when she first pitched y'all the idea?
Okay, so, no. My sister Jennifer ended up doing a bid. She got pinched and went away. She did a year and a day in Danbury. This is a girl that was valedictorian, NYU, everything. She got in trouble. Somebody got her in trouble.
Yeah.
And she didn't rat and did her time. Came home and she's like, well, what am I going to do? She ended up working for the vice president of Sony in the Epic division. Girl wrote a #1 hit went platinum.
Mm.
Brilliant. She's brilliant. Then what else am I going to do? Well, she wanted to write a scripted show. Then she realized, why script this show
Shit
when
is
I got the
real.
cast right here?
Yeah.
You know, Drita and Karen are her girlfriends. Carla was my girlfriend. She told me I wasn't on the show. She's like, you're not a part of it. Maybe you could do wardrobe, because I was doing wardrobe at the time. I used to be an assistant to Tiffany Hasbun, who was 50 Cents.
Okay.
You know, I did a lot of stuff for a lot of famous people back then. And I was like, okay, I just wanted to be like a part of it. This bitch waited until the day before the meeting to tell me that I was always involved. I would
Oh,
go to
shit.
bed crying. I told you, Scorpio, mean bitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jen, I'm talking to you.
So it wasn't scripted. It was just straight raw, no edits, like
You can't edit me.
at all.
Some of the other girls I can't speak for. But me, good luck. If 127 people could get pinched and my ex-husband be one of them, someone become a fucking snitch on television, and all the other shit that went down with me, I die on an operating table. Okay, flatlined.
Wow.
MRSA through my whole body. If you could script me, please. Please. Then I can pretend I'm acting.
Yeah. So for you, it wasn't no hesitation. What about the rest of the family? How they felt about going public, with y'all being like such a private?
My father was in jail. He stopped talking to us for 2 years.
Wow.
No communication. None. My mother was just like, I'm so embarrassed. You can't live here. Because I lived with my mom when everybody went to jail. It was just me and my son. I had to leave the house, had to go get my own house, had to do everything. My dad didn't. Yeah, it was devastating that my father stopped talking to me and my sister.
So was it any like, any consideration on how they felt, or was just like this is gonna this may benefit all of us? On another side of things, it may open different doors. And I just have to understand that, or was it just fuck it, we just doing it?
No, Jennifer didn't give a fuck. Jennifer's gonna do what Jennifer wants to do because Jennifer's her own boss.
Yeah.
And Jennifer doesn't listen to the boss. Now, if my father would have been home and said, you ain't doing it, I wouldn't have did it.
Different story.
But at that particular time in my life, it was my breakthrough for a lot that was happening to me. I was away from my son's father for many, many years. I was like, fuck this. We're going to do a show about the mob. Like, you need to know the truth about this shit. People think this is so glamorous.
Yeah.
The only thing glamorous about the mafia were the fur coats, the diamonds, the big houses. What's glamorous about jail?
Right.
What's glamorous about standing over a casket and it's closed because the person's riddled with bullets or blown up on 86th Street in Brooklyn? What's glamorous about not having a father? What's glamorous about your mother being afraid of her? Like, what's glamorous about that?
Right.
You know, we make it look good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is the picture painted that from the outside looking in, it do look like that's why a lot of people imitate. A lot of people start mimicking the name or trying to duplicate the name, the mob or the mafia and shit like that.
I thought it was all of that until I turned about 40-ish. And then
So your pops kept you away from all the gritty shit for real.
I never had any worries in my life. It was nothing like that. My father was very, 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 very well respected.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any type of threats on our life. Nothing like that. No. I lived a completely different life than some other people do.
Right.
And I love my dad, and that's why I said he was my Superman. Like, my father always made sure we were safe. However, the repercussions came with mob wives for me. People just started looking, like, not talking to me. Oh, they're ratting. We ain't ratting. I'm talking about public knowledge.
Right.
My shit is public. This is my life. That's when it changed. Then I wasn't Anthony's daughter anymore. Now I'm Renee.
Yeah.
But, of course, I'm always Anthony's daughter. You know what I mean? But I had to start making a life for myself. And I did. And I did fucking great. Okay, except for when I was a little stoned on TV. That was not so good. But I still own my shit.
Right.
And it's mine. My father eventually talked to me. My father's never, ever watched an episode.
Wow.
He would end up in the hole every time somebody in jail would come to him and be like, daughter's on. Because my father was in jail the whole time my boy was on.
Why do you think he was so opposed to it, though?
Because it was everything he's against. He felt that was, you're not telling, but you're still talking about something that's not even, it doesn't exist.
Right.
Like how people say the Illuminati. I mean, I don't know anything about it.
This is real shit that been aired on TV in his head, right? He not even too familiar with reality TV.
He doesn't
and all-
know anything about
Yeah.
it. He sees his daughter fist fighting in the house who doesn't even know how to fight. He sees her ex-husband setting her up, giving her a watch that ends up having a wire in it. That's how we all found out. He sees me die in an opera. He doesn't see. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Let me go back. People would report and say to him, "Your daughter had to fight." My father go, "Couldn't be Renee. She don't know how to fight. Don't talk to me about that rat show." He would flip out on us. And anybody who would talk about it in like on the compound where he was, ooh, wasn't it good?
He ended up in a box, huh?
Yeah, all the time he was in the box.
How was being disciplined from you? Or you just was spoiled, you did what you want, like growing up like being a princess. What was discipline for you growing up, you and your siblings, if you had to say? None?
Well, I think I got in trouble when I was 17.
And what was
I was
that?
drugs,
Okay.
cocaine, because it was like the rich white girl drug where I grew up. It was like,
Yeah.
champagne and cocaine.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I got in trouble doing drugs. I got punished. But if I tell you my punishment, you're gonna like tell me get out.
Yeah,
So
that's what I want to know. Yeah.
Ready? It's
what-
really bad on my father. It's so fucking bad right now. So my punishment, he said, "What are you doing drugs for?" And I'm like, "Because you don't pay me enough attention anymore, and I don't have this." He said, so 17,500 was like 5,000,
Yeah.
right?
Back-
Here's my platinum card. Here's the limousine. Go out with your friends. That'll take care of everything. Just have a good time. Guess what we did?
That brought more coke.
We got some more cocaine. We were out in Regine's all night. But back then, cocaine, like $50 of cocaine would keep you up.
Yeah.
Like 4 people. Because we didn't like party, you know what I mean? Had that little, like, it's so funny that,
So coke back then was like how weed is today, basically.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first punishment. I got hit 2 times. That wasn't fun. And that was as an adult. I got whacked on the head a couple times with the phone. We'd walk past and went bing off the top of the head
Yeah.
with the phone. But I never got hit like that ever. My older sister caught beatings. Like, 'cause she was really bad. She would rob the car and, go to a great adventure with her friends, flip the cars, like forever in trouble. My father was, constantly chartering planes home. And I'm like, what do you mean charter? What's a charter?
Yeah.
And then you read these things about my dad, and I'm like, oh, that's why you were chartering. Okay.
Right. Damn. That's a good punishment, man. I wish I got disciplined like that.
Imagine that shit. He fucked me up even more. He should have punished me.
Yo, I
for
wish I
real.
got disciplined like that when I was younger.
he
That's
didn't.
some
We were
crazy
afraid
shit.
of him.
Yeah.
So if he said something, we just listened.
Right.
So you didn't have to discipline us. Well, Lana needed to be disciplined. Me, I was the daughter that did everything that. If you said be home at, I had to be home at 2:00. I was home at 1:45.
Mm-hmm.
I was that kid. Even if I was a little high, it was still early. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, going to bed. Walk past every. My father wasn't home.
Yeah.
The man wasn't ever home.
Yeah. I hate to keep referring back to this, but I got a lot of
Go.
I got a lot of questions and shit, man. Like being that your pops was like who he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you got mature enough to start dating,
Oh.
how did you? Because I know a lot of men came at you from different angles, like hidden agendas, and how did you tell who was like?
Every one of them had a hidden agenda.
Damn.
I think to this day they still have a hidden.
You feel like that? Did you know that at
Absolutely.
the time, at that young age?
No. I was told I was ugly, so I just wanted to be pretty. So if you paid me attention, I thought you liked me.
Right.
So my first boyfriend, I was young. I was like 14 and a half. We won't say his name. He ended up catching a bad beating, though, because he gave me a black eye. That didn't work out so well for him.
Who beat his ass? Papa Doc beat his ass?
My father's passed. No.
Papa Doc-
Actually, everybody who was...
How old was he?
I was 15. He was 18.
Oh,
And I had a black eye. And whatever did happen,
yeah.
they've all passed on from now. They broke his arm.
Mm.
I wasn't allowed to date him anymore. And then I dated the biggest drug dealer. I was 16 and I thought he loved me. And this was going to be like the greatest love story in the
Yeah.
world. But I couldn't tell anybody
Yeah.
because he was 22 and I was 16.
Mm.
So I was ahead of all the girls, mind you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Physically, I developed way before everybody else. Like, everything but my ass. That I had to buy later on in life. But yeah. Well, I always say the only thing fake about me is my nose. My ass is mine. It's just fat removed, like moved around my body. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, every guy had a hidden agenda. Absolutely. Everybody wanted to be mobbed up. So going out with me, you like had a front row seat. You could get your
Yeah.
butt, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I always dated Italian guys. And then I met my ex-husband. I was 20.
Mm.
He had just come home from jail. I got engaged a month and 19 days later. Because, Daddy, this is what I want, Daddy. Daddy, you have to do it. The kid ended up he's now a rat fucking stool pigeon. I despise him.
Yeah.
But when he came home, he was cellmates
Yeah.
with the boss of my father's crime family. So this man spoke for him.
Mm-hmm.
Who he actually became a rat too, which is really fucking odd. But anyway, we don't really talk about him because he left my father alone and didn't bother my father. So whatever. So my father, he was Spanish, my ex-husband. So he goes, what's his name? I go, I can't tell you. He goes, what do you mean you can't tell me? I said, ask him when he gets here. He goes, what the fuck is his name? So my father don't know what's coming right at this point. And he says, what's your name? He goes, Hector. He goes, oh, no, it's not. He goes, what's your father's name? He goes, Hector. He goes, your name is Junior. So I got engaged July 21st of 90, right?
So what was it? Love at first sight? Or
no, he was the one that told me nobody else wanted me.
Oh.
And nobody else would ever marry me. And he was really good looking and had big muscles. And he was like this guy from jail and everybody in the street respected him. He was like the toughest guy, everything. So to me, I thought he was everything.
Right.
And I say, I wanted to marry a man who was going to protect me.
Mm-hmm.
However, the man that I married, I needed protection from.
Was it hard being like? So let me ask you this: any time in your life that you felt like you had to like dumb it down? I don't want to say dumb it down, but like tone it down. As far as
my personality?
Yeah, like just tone down your whole everything because of like even it could be a partner or a spouse or family members that wasn't immediate family. Being that you was like, you was one of them girls. Your pops was one of them guys. How was that like?
I don't know. I'm learning now.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
all right. So let's say as far as like dating,
okay.
Was it hard being submissive?
Believe it or not, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm aggressive, but when I'm with a man, you're the man.
Okay.
Okay. However, if you speak to me sideways, that's the problem.
Right.
That mouth comes back.
Right.
And this is and this has to do with the abuse. This has to do with what I experienced in my marriage. Okay. So unfortunately, a lot of guys have paid the price for his actions. Now,
to this day, would you say to this day a lot of guys are still paying the price?
I would say that I'm ashamed to say that unfortunately I have probably ruined a few relationships because of that. So I might have met a nice guy. So I just don't know.
Prior to you meeting him,
I was with him all my life.
Oh, okay.
I had little boyfriends when I was young, but they were all afraid of my father. So what happened to me though, and true story, and I say it, and somebody might say that wouldn't want me to say it, but I'll say it anyway. I became promiscuous because you would take me out on a date, but you weren't going to take me on a second or a third because you were afraid. Yeah. So I figured I'm going to figure out a way for you to like me.
Yeah.
And that was a big mistake as a young girl. But I also learned sex as a weapon. So now I got my last name. I got some really good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to figure this the fuck out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you get what you want. You definitely said that.
Right.
You know how to
so I learned how to manipulate it that way. But not, and it ended up being my son's father, my ex-husband. I shouldn't have wasted my goods on him. Fuck that. Huh.
just him talking down. So you said you got married a month and 17.
No, I got engaged a month and 19 days later. I got married 2.5 years later when my father came home from jail the first time.
Okay.
Um,
How was that?
Oh, it was
how's
horrible.
from the jump?
From the jump. Before,
Marriage
I
life.
should have never married him. He was abusive. He was physically abusive, mentally abusive, and then later on in life, it became abuse. Like really every. I don't know why I whispered that. Like, but it became every form of abuse.
I know. Like it's easier said than done, and it's a question that most like.
Dad, why didn't you leave?
Yeah, I have a very close family member that's a victim of that. So I never, I wouldn't ask her that. But if you had to say like, why didn't you leave?
Okay, so I'm going to give you some statistics right now too, because I work with domestic violence survivors.
Dope.
Yes. It's an organization called Women in Distress out in Florida, actually. So it takes a woman 7 times to be abused before she leaves. 7.
Yeah.
7 times. So now, you might not get hit every day. So it could take you 7 times, 7 beatings for you to get out. But by 2 or 3, you're so mentally manipulated that you're telling, okay, I can tell you I'm pretty today, right? I could look at myself and I can visually see it. I still can't feel it.
Right.
Because this man has taken that. I know I am, but I don't feel like I am. So my insecurities will creep back in, which creeps into other relationships. Now.
What you mean by that?
Okay. When you're abused for 20 years of your life, or maybe less, because it doesn't take. So it affects everything from the rest. For me, it affected everything because I didn't.
Relationships with friends, family?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything part of me.
Okay.
First of all, I have nothing to be insecure or jealous about.
Right.
I have the world. I'm not really a jealous person. I'm more of an insecure person, but I'm not jealous. I could look at another woman and say, oh, wow, she's really beautiful. I'm not jealous of you. Damn, I wish my ass looked like that. Or, wow, I wish I had a smaller waist. But I'm not jealous of you because you ain't me. Right. You don't have my personality.
Right.
And that I wouldn't trade for all the money in the world.
Right.
You know? But I think when a woman is mentally manipulated, beat down, and then you add other elements of abuse in there, emotional, verbal, sexual, right? Or you add all of that. How you leaving? You can't.
So how did you
You're
deal
paralyzed. I took it.
You just took it.
I took it until I couldn't take it. No.
How did you cope with that? Like
I don't
being in that shit for so long like that.
Self-medicated.
Okay.
And that's where the drugs came in. So I figured if I could stop my brain from thinking, I could stop my heart from feeling. And that's how I lived for a really, really long time. And I didn't get high every day. I didn't party every day. I didn't self-medicate every day. But there was periods of my life where I wanted to disappear. And I never wanted to kill myself. I don't believe in that. I'm Catholic. I can't go to heaven. I still have that type of mentality, but I wanted to disappear.
Yeah.
Because when I'm told how ugly I am, oh, your body, you don't have an ass, you don't have this. So I get on an operating table and I die to go get an ass. I literally flatlined, dead, because someone told me my body wasn't good enough. Someone told me I was stupid, so I believed it for fucking 40 years. You said I'm not smart? You know what? If I go back and look at a few of my interviews, I'll be like, damn, bitch, you good.
That's a fact, yeah.
Like,
super.
You're a smart, strong woman. Why did you listen to a man tell you, a man, woman, whatever, don't matter.
Yeah.
Anybody tell you didn't deserve. You weren't worth it. I'm worth the sun, the moon, and the motherfucking stars. And if you don't want to deliver that to me, I'll go get it myself. So keep it pushing.
That's a fact. What you think was his issue though? Because it had to be something like he was ill. Like what?
He's
if you
fucking
had to
ill.
say,
Period.
What you think it was like an insecure thing, intimidation?
Ooh, keep it going. Yeah,
like,
you got it.
I don't want to call it. I'm asking.
You're talking
that's
it.
usually what it is, right? Insecurity and shit like that.
So we'd go out, and being my father's daughter, when we walk into a room, you have to greet me first.
Did your father know? How?
No, I had it for years. I had everything. I had everything.
You loved him that much.
I thought I loved him.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want him to die.
Right.
because then I felt like God was going to punish me if I told. And I'm a rat then. So think
That
about
goes
that.
back to what you were
8
saying.
years old.
Yeah.
That's why I said loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
But I did love him. I also had a child with him.
Okay.
You know, I have a son. I have a 28-year-old son. There was a lot of things, but he started telling my family that I was abusing myself. I'm throwing myself down the stairs. That's why I have black and blues. Now, because you couldn't hide, sir.
Right.
He shattered my coccyx bone. So what are you going to say when I'm in the hospital? So
Right.
my father started to get little, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like, Renee, what's going? Nothing. Renee, you're in traction, laying like on a boat. What do you mean nothing happened?
Yeah.
And I can't tell you if something happened to him. I don't know because we had to stay away from me for a while.
Right.
But I was like, Dad, no, I want this. My father said, then you stay.
Mm.
And I'll tell you something, he fucked up there too, my father. Should have killed him.
Yeah.
Should have fucking took that one. I should have fucking told, man. And, you know, God forgive me. I'm sorry, but I should have saved everybody.
Yeah.
And I would have taken that and gone up to heaven and been like, God, I'm really sorry. Could you give me a pass on this?
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
really didn't mean it. You know he was really
Yeah.
bad. But I just feel that human life, I mean, again, if it has to do with children,
Mm-hmm.
there is everything bad should happen to you. But when it has to do with other things, I just felt like I shouldn't have said anything.
So if you had to say, emotional abuse and mental abuse
Ooh.
is greater than any physical abuse you can endure. If you had to say.
Are you going back to that Mathafa where I turned around and said I'd rather get punched in the face than
I didn't
cheated
even,
on?
It's not out yet. I ain't even see,
Oh.
I ain't see that. I ain't see that.
I said I'd rather be punched in the face than cheated on.
Yeah.
Because my bruise can heal, but my heart can't.
I always say that mental abuse is real.
Verbal, mental,
abuse.
and emotional abuse, I think is worse than physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take
People-
that beating. I've taken them. You know what I mean? Like,
What was
bruised
that?
kidney, cracked rib. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I've taken it. But please don't cheat on me. Like, what kind of fucking jerk off shit is that?
Yeah.
Be like, touch me or cheat on me, get the fuck out. But I'm like, you know what? Just punch me in the face instead of breaking my. No, fuck you. You gotta go.
What was that like for your son though, growing up watching his pop? Was it like
No. I took my son right out of the house. So
okay.
when AJ was 4.5, turning 5, my ex-husband was having an affair, which I knew who exactly it was, and everyone in my family told me I was crazy. They have a child to prove that I knew I was right. So anyway, yeah. So he had a baby while he was married to me. So one day, I was on the phone with my best friend from that story when I told you I was at the bar. Still my friend. And I was telling him, and he overheard my conversation. AJ was upstairs playing, and his father dragged me down a flight of steps and beat the shit out of me. And my son's face was pressed between the little bars watching. I said, I will never. Went to church. True story. November 29th,
Yeah.
1998. And there was a piece of paper in the pew that said, after the long, dark storm, there will be light. Went home, packed my bags. He went to sleep. I cooked him dinner, laid out his clothes. He went to sleep. Next day, he got up, he went to work. I took my son, my clothes, and my TV. I went to Artists. I took a TV with me. I ended up being on that TV.
Wow.
And I was able to tell. Little weird things, like a lot of weird stuff
I see you pay attention to signs and things like that. Me, that's what I do. That's how that quote me on your page. You talk a lot about your pops and you know how he was a great role model to you and how you looked up to him. How did your mom influence you growing up? Like, what did you take from her?
I know how to cook.
You a chef, right? I think you got a chef book out, right? I gotta go pick that up. Yeah, you got a cookbook. I gotta go pick that up.
How to use a meat cleaver.
Yeah, make sure y'all go get that. Where's it at? Amazon?
It's Amazon. Barnes and Nobles might still have it. I have an erotic novel that I wrote too.
Okay.
Because I guess being promiscuous, I have great stories.
You got erotic. What's the name of it? The Fire.
Playing with Fire.
Playing with Fire. I downloaded the sample today too.
Oh, Oh, did you get to read a little bit?
I
It's
read a little bit.
good.
Like, I gotta grab the whole joint.
It's good.
I'm more of a like, I need the book in hand. I'm not too. I don't like Kindle.
I'm not even. I was like,
I'm
I'll
not
get one
finna-
in the house. I'm not in the house. I
Yeah.
don't read on. I have to
Yeah, I
hold
can't.
it.
Me too. That's what I got. I got a whole
Yeah,
actual. I had a
absolutely.
physical copy. So I'm gonna go grab that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what I learned from my mother, compassion.
Mm-hmm.
My mother has patience of a saint. I didn't learn that because I have no patience.
Right.
I am my father's daughter. So I'm more pro dad than I am mom. My
Okay.
2 sisters are more pro mom. I know that my mother's an excellent mother, caretaker. She sewed everything for me. She took me everywhere I wanted to go. She did everything that a mom should do for their children.
Yeah.
They did not teach me about sex, my parents.
Mm.
Okay, so I do think that they fucked that up a little bit too. I think parents are supposed to teach their kids.
I don't think parents ever.
They should have a conversation with their children
don't think-
about the birds and the bees.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The birds and the bees. That's
Like the normal birds.
Yeah.
I'm not talking
yeah.
about like
Yeah, that's a
dirty
fact.
sex. I'm talking about the normal stuff
Yeah,
for
that's
kids.
a fact.
And you should
Yeah,
have
nah,
it.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
My parents didn't do that. I learned how to dress from my mom.
I was gonna ask you that too. Who
my
you
mother
get your
was-
style from?
Okay, my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll show you a picture, looked like Raquel Welch. My mother is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I gotta see Mama.
Yeah, magnificent. And she wore like all these feathers and all this. Yeah,
I gotta
all
see
that
my.
mob shit.
It don't fall too far from the tree though.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're gorgeous.
Thank
I don't
you.
know
Thank
what he was
you.
talking about, but you're definitely
Thank you.
on the up and up.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
I told you I could see it now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel it.
It's so crazy when somebody tell you something, you start believing that shit. Like
That's
somebody tell you something for too long, you're a loser. You really start believing that shit. Like
Right.
I'm a loser till you snap out of it. That's why I said for me, I think finding yourself is easier. Cause when you realize like yo, I'm me, like that shit be. It's like this losing yourself. I feel like it's like it go down the slope and all that. But go ahead, but mama love.
Yeah. So we're a beautiful, we're a good looking family.
Yeah.
I'm the prettiest sister. I said it. I said
Yeah,
it.
fuck it, man.
No, I got green eyes and better hair than they do.
Yeah.
I don't get.
So you
along
look
with
like
my
your mom
sisters.
or your dad?
I'm my both. Okay,
Okay.
so growing up,
Yeah.
true story. I looked just like my dad,
Mhm.
and everybody would say it, and I thought because people told me I was ugly, that meant I looked like a boy. So I wanted to have my nose fixed because my mom had a nicer nose. So at 6, no, I fixed my nose. I'm sorry, I fixed my nose at 24. I waited till I was older. I had my first surgery at 18. I had my first breast reduction. My mom was like, "Yeah, she's allowed to do that one. Get rid of them things."
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he was
we had
all
to be
for that.
fully buttoned up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we were like this, turtlenecks. But so I got my nose fixed, and that made me look like both my parents, and I regret that because I'd give anything to look like my dad today.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I'm both of them. My little sister's all my mother, my older sister's all my father, and
Okay.
I'm both of them.
That's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to take another caption from your page.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was doing.
I be saying some crazy.
Yeah,
shit
you be saying some good shit though.
Thank you.
What's the difference between being loyal and loyal to a fault?
I just explained to you. Loyal is
So what is loyal to you?
okay. What I believe loyalty is
Yeah.
if you're not loyal to yourself first, no one will ever be loyal to you.
Okay.
And I'm just learning how to be loyal to myself.
What does that mean though? Being loyal to yourself.
So I've always been loyal to everyone else. Like, if there's a problem, I'm gonna get in the way. I'm gonna cut it off. I'll handle it for you. I'm so loyal. I'll rock with you to like, okay, Renee, I'm gonna rob a bank. I'll be like, all right, I'll just drive. You know what I mean? I'll still make
yeah.
sure you get away. I got you, and I would never tell on you.
Is that loyal or loyal to a fault?
Well, when I was growing, I would be loyal and cool. However,
Okay.
it'd be dumb today. Loyal to a fault is letting a man kick your ass for all those fucking years and not telling on him when he deserved to be in a box. That's loyal to a fault. Loyal to a fault is letting a man talk to you any fucking crazy way he wants and you go back to him.
Yeah.
Loyal to a fault. Or that could be desperation, or that could be insecurity, or that could be like you're so, like you have no self-worth. When someone tells you you don't even know your self-worth, that's the second you need to get rid of that motherfucker too. You know why? He knows you don't know your self-fucking-worth. He's going to play that. You're
Yeah.
loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
Loyalty means you are going to be you need to be loyal to you. You need to know what your self-worth is. You need to have self-respect. Even if you don't fully believe that about yourself, don't ever fucking tell anybody. Don't ever tell anybody you're insecure. I could say it because you can't do nothing to me no more.
Right.
I've been through it all. What are you going to tell me I'm ugly now? I'd be like, sit and spin. What are you going to tell me?
Sit and spin.
I don't have an ass? Yes, I do. It's big enough for a whole chair. What are you going to say to me? I don't have a nice nose? My nose job was very expensive. It's perfect. What could you say to me now?
How does one get that confidence back? If you had to speak to a young girl right now and that been through something similar to you, how do you gain that confidence back?
I would tell her I know what she feels like. I would relate to her first. And then I would tell her, if I can do it, you can do it.
Okay.
Because I've been broken, battered, raped, beat, done, lying on the floor, OD'd a couple of times, 10 treatment centers. I've done it all.
Yeah.
So what could the average person do to me that I didn't do to myself?
Right.
So who wasn't I loyal to?
Right.
Myself.
Right.
How you going to be loyal to me if I don't respect myself?
Yeah. I make a lot of sense.
So I would tell that young girl, no matter who that person is, if they ain't telling you you're smart, you're strong, you can be, or you already are, those I am statements, you say it every day. I am great. I am beautiful.
Affirmations.
I am. That's right. Positive affirmation.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at my house, I have sticky notes all over the place. You know what I mean? Some of my sticky notes will say, I am beautiful, but you can afford to lose those 5 extra pounds now, Renee. You know what I mean? I still tell myself a positive, but I'll let myself know the truth as well.
Yeah. And we spoke about this earlier, but I got to ask you again, just because you said that you will answer it again. Like, what would you say affect you to this day? And how do we get past trauma, like as a people?
Okay. So I think love is a really important part.
Self-love or love from your
I
peers?
think sometimes you have to love somebody until they can love themselves. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I was a person that my friends loved me up so much that they made me started to feel
Those
the
great
love.
friends.
Yeah.
Those is great
Shout
friends.
out to Danielle Rich and Jessica and and Lee Marie and Bali. Like I got this.
I thought
Christina.
that shit only happened in movies.
No, they loved me up so much that I started to love myself. And let me tell you how they love me. Sometimes they didn't talk to me because they knew I was better than that. So if they know me, they knew me 100% fucked up, broken, battered, whatever. They knew me every which way. Sometimes they actually had to say, okay, I love you so much that I have to step away because you're killing me. But you also have to hear, I love you so much that I have to step away from me because you're hurting me.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to remove yourself. People have to remove you in life. And it's not that they don't love you. Some people have to love you from afar.
Right.
But I think, for me, my friends loved me up. They loved me up. And then I started to love myself. And I started to look at myself. I stopped dating completely. Last year. And I started to rebuild myself. The confidence. I lost weight. I had some plastic surgery. I look good. I started to okay, for me, it's plastic surgery. I don't care what people say. Go to the gym. No, I don't feel like it. I can go on the table. I can do what I want. You know what I mean? If I can afford it, it's my business, mind yours.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? I did stuff that was for me. I moved away. I left New York.
How's Florida treating you?
I hate it. I hate it.
You do?
I hate Florida.
Why you hate So when people ask you, you say you from New York.
I am from New York.
You from Staten Island.
I'm from Brooklyn. I was
you
born
was
there.
raised in Staten Island.
I know, but I was born in Brooklyn.
So Staten Island not part of New York, right? This shit
Yeah, it
secluded.
is. No, Staten
You never
Island
felt
is.
like
You
you
know
was
what?
secluded from the whole
We
world?
are. We have our own little fucking language
You know, it's
and
people
shit
that
over
been
here.
people that been in Miami more than they been in Staten Island for real.
Right.
For real.
No, I mean,
New York.
I'm born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island. And now I'm a snow bunny.
Yeah.
Not a bird. I'm a snow bunny in Florida. And I don't like
the weather's
it.
nice. What you don't like about it?
It's too fucking hot.
Oh, it's too
I don't
humid.
have many friends at all. I haven't driven in the last year because I had a really bad car accident.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I lived.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be here.
God bless you.
Oh, no, I should not be here. Yeah, the car was gone.
Oh,
Demolished.
total?
Oh, flipped over.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got out. There was like this whole case. Never was charged with anything. For the people that still think that I was, I never was. All charges dropped.
Yeah, shout out to you for that. Man. Oh,
Shout out to God.
shout out to God. Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to the
that's God. God
shout
was
out
my
to the,
attorney.
Yeah, to the
That's who my attorney was.
Yeah, that's a fact.
No, but seriously, all kidding aside, I think loving yourself and self-respect, self-confidence. You can give yourself self-confidence. Dress nice. Get up in that morning. Get up and look in the mirror. Okay. For the girly girls, do your hair. Put some eyeliner on. Put some lipstick on. For the girls that aren't so girly, dress in the most comfortable clothes that you want to fucking be in. For the guys that are all muscular, wear your tightest shirt. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Go to the gym. Like, there's little things. I hate being super girly. I hate it. I want to be in a ponytail, Air Force Ones, hoodie. Like, that's me. You know what I mean? And that's me, really, me in Florida, except I can't wear hoodies because it's so fucking damn hot. I feel like I live in hell.
The baseball cap. Just throw on the cap or something, man. Throw the Yankee hat on or something.
You know what? I don't even own a hat.
For real? I gotta get you a hat and give it to Chacha, man.
I got that. You know
I
what?
gotta grab your Yankee hat, man.
Yes.
That's mandatory. You're in Florida, you gotta have a Yankee hat.
Okay, you're right. I need. Yes.
I'm gonna grab you one. I'm gonna grab you one of the My Trainer Thoughts t-shirts too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got that.
It's gonna look good on you too.
Absolutely, because you know what?
Yeah.
My train of thought is to be positive.
Right.
And that's where you need to start doing your shirts with positive affirmations all over the back.
Wow, I'm gonna run with that. I'm taking that and run with that.
I
Thank
gave it to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's what you need.
That's dope too.
That's right. My train of thought is positive on purpose.
Yeah, we
My
gonna
train
do
of
that.
thought is on purpose.
Yeah, we gonna do that too. That's hard. So you only got one son?
I have one son.
Okay.
He's 28. He's married. And he just had twin girls.
Shout
2
out
days
to you,
ago.
Glam Mom, man.
I got 4 now.
Shout out to the twins.
Yes, I have my grandson, Anthony John, my first granddaughter, Olivia Jade, and now we have Ariana Juliet, and we have Adelina Joe.
Dope,
All
man.
AJs.
Shout out to the grands, man. what would you say is the biggest challenge, or was the biggest challenge being a mom, raising a son? What you got to say? Because there ain't really no manual.
It was the
that,
trauma.
Right?
The trauma was the challenge because I got stoned. When my son was about like 13, 14 is when my addiction kind of took off. So I mentally checked out. I was always there.
Yeah.
He had food, he had clothes, my son had everything, but his mom was mentally kind of checking out, and I wasn't able to function properly. I think the biggest challenge for me now is finding someone who's going to love me and accept me and be patient with me and be like, okay, my bitch is crazy, but I love that crazy bitch. And I don't mean bitch in a disrespectful way. You know what I mean? So excuse me. Let me change that. That's my lady. She's crazy. I love my lady. She's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he can't call me a bitch.
Right.
He can't call me nothing but nice names. But yeah, I want forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie. I think when they watch these interviews and they hear your story and talking, I think the right guy come along and be patient with you and love you and care for you like how you treat you how you're supposed to be treated.
I'm a good woman.
Yeah,
I just gotta watch my mouth.
I'm wishing that on you. I mean, it's one of your flaws. You gonna have to deal with it a little bit.
Yeah, no,
you gotta
have to change.
A balance. Yeah.
No, I'm going to have to change.
Yeah.
Because if he's gonna have to deal with some of my with then I'm gonna have to learn how to respect him properly.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no problem with that, but I've been. So
is your mouth
through...
when you get mad? When you get, I think that's every female when they get mad.
It is, but not. But
shit,
they don't.
Man.
Not every man deserves it. So let's just say a scenario is this man's treating me super good and he's doing the right thing, and then one day I feel like flipping the fuck out and I tell you yada yada yada. I'm kind of if you're an alpha male, you don't want someone taking your manhood.
Right. That's a fact.
So I'm an alpha woman looking for an alpha male. How's that gonna fucking work? Because I don't want no weak man.
Yeah, facts. So the man, so your man, whoever you dating, they got to be of a certain caliber.
They got to be.
Could you date the bus driver?
If he's a man?
Yeah, she's the alpha man. He's still like.
He's got to be a man, like sexy man. Okay, wait, I'm a timeout. Time out. I want a man who financially, I'm saying it, I don't care.
Yeah, say it.
Financially can keep up with me.
Mm-hmm.
I want a man who, if I don't want to work, I don't have to work.
Yeah.
Because I'm working as a woman in that household. I'm taking care of A, B, C. Your clothes are laid out. Your bath is warm. Your food's on the table. Like, I'm that type of woman. Like, I'm like...
Zoom in on that, man, because I don't know what's going on these days. It's the baddies over here. They don't want to lift a finger on Instagram, man. And these the ones that's getting flown out and all type of crazy shit.
What do they get flown out for? Because they're bending over. But what do you get? That's all you getting flown out
this
for.
This is what I'm saying. Got to be careful, man, when niggas be wifing girls off their looks. Say that. Can you repeat that? What he getting?
Oh, okay. So this is what he's getting.
What he getting, man?
He's getting his clothes washed, folded, pressed, laid out, warm bath, hot meal.
Every day.
And
every
me.
Day? Oh, no, y'all gonna go out sometime. Oh, yeah, you. That's
and
icing.
me.
That's the icing on the cake.
What?
Yeah, hit that again, Flynn.
And me. So like you get everything taken care of. All you need to do is go to work, and when you get home, don't lift a finger.
I'm happy for you.
You got a back rub?
Yeah.
You got what?
Yeah. Back rub and all that?
Absolutely.
With the oil and shit?
Listen. Listen.
I don't even gotta ask you, man. What's up with you today? Cause you look good. You sound good. Your energy is good. Everything is good. What does 2023 look like for you? What we got coming up?
Love. It looks like love.
I like that. I like that you big on love. Like that's
huge on love.
That's important.
It looks a lot like love to me, and that doesn't mean that I'm gonna marry someone. That doesn't mean I pray that I have that feeling always. You know what I mean? Like I love butterflies. I get excited when my phone rings if a specific person calls me. I get like all stupid.
Oh yeah?
Oh God.
Oh, shout out to them, man.
Yeah. Like I do. I do.
Yeah.
Like today, all kidding aside, today, and I say this with the utmost respect, and this does not eliminate him. Disrespect me. It don't matter how much I fucking like you. You gotta go.
Yeah,
but
zero tolerance for that, huh?
Now, you know what? Because someone said something to me the other day, hence that post. Finding myself was easy. Because I've been lost for so long, I couldn't find myself.
Right.
You said one word. He said one word to me. It triggered every alarm bell through my whole body. I was like, motherfucker, what? Oh, wait, I'm Renee Graziano.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a cocky way. I mean like, no, I'm Renee Graziano.
You gotta remind yourself.
I'm gonna be. I was Renee Graziano before you got here. I'm Renee Graziano on TV. I'm Renee Graziano off TV. I'm gonna be Renee Graziano to the fucking day I die. Yeah. And even when I'm dead, I'm still Renee Graziano.
That's a fact.
So wait a second. But I had to learn that I do not have a right to disrespect somebody because I'm in a bad mood. I do not have a right to be verbally aggressive because I didn't get my way. Give respect. You earn respect. You give respect. It's a two-way street.
Right, that's a fact.
Every relationship is a two-way street. If a man's having it all his way and you don't know where he is or how he's moving or he don't want to do, like something's wrong. Red flags. It's not a fucking carnival. We ain't at the motherfucking circus. And I think that was the problem with me. I loved Ringling, Barnum, and Bailey so much as a kid.
Yeah.
That's why I dated clowns. I was forever at the motherfucking circus. I had to just realize I don't gotta go to the fucking circus anymore.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Fuck the clowns.
That's a fact.
I want the magician. Make that money appear, baby.
Talk about it.
That's what I want.
Flynn.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck pulling a rabbit out of your hat.
That's a fact.
Pull it out of your ass, motherfucker. Oh wait, there is an. Wait, I'm just gonna.
No.
I'm not even gonna say nothing because I actually just realized my brain just went right in the gutter when I said rabbit. So I'm like, no, maybe you shouldn't pull that one out of your.
Oh shit.
So see, there's a fun Renee too.
Yeah, I see.
There is. I'm a dope soul. I am.
Definitely appreciate this conversation.
Thank you.
This was fun, man. 2023. What can the people look forward to? I know you said you got your podcast. I think coming.
Oh no, I have My Fairy Mother. I'm about to shoot it. It's a TV show, and it's a feel good show. So I'm helping people that are need help getting into recovery, people that are in recovery
Dope.
and that need different outlets for jobs, who needs a car, who needs furniture. It's a feel good show. It's about if you've been abused, I want you to call your fairy mother because I still got motherfucking connections.
Wow.
We're gonna fix that.
Wow. Look
We're
out
gonna
for that.
fix you
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fix that. So that's a huge one for me. I have my book. I have a series that I'm working on. I have a movie. My shout out to Corey Stokes, John Stokes, who's my manager as well, who really kind of pushed me to get out of bed 4 months ago and start like, no. You still got it. What's wrong with let's go. And he put me on the right track. Most definitely Cha-Cha, who is always
Shout out to Cha-Cha,
yes,
man.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Who
For
hooked
making
us
this
up.
happen,
And
yup.
this is
Shout out
like
to Cha-Cha
and this
for
is
making
like
this happen.
a beginning of a great friendship because I
Yeah.
can already tell like I'm so hanging out with you. Like
Yeah,
we're so
I
going
can't
out.
wait. I'll be in Miami tomorrow. That's the crazy shit.
Oh, I go back on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be out there tomorrow, man. I got a good meeting. I gotta attend to. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll be out there. That's like my second home.
All right. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We
Okay,
definitely gonna
good.
get out.
So I just know I have a really strong team around me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miko as well. I have like people that love me. I have people that want better for me. They
important.
want to watch me. Like my production team, Anton, Paul, Nona. Like these are my business partners.
Right.
We have a company together. We're doing television shows. Shout out to Bel Air. Like there's so much happening around me
Yeah.
that I'm like God, what are you doing?
Yeah. The universe working, man.
Yeah.
The universe is definitely
Drop
working.
that love in my lap.
Just hearing your
Like,
story.
that's it.
I'm happy.
I just
everything-
wanna-
I'm
I
happy
just
you
want
getting
love.
everything you deserve. Yeah, I'm
Thank
happy
you.
about that, man. It was definitely a pleasure, man. Before we get up out of here, I need a penny for your thoughts. How important is self-awareness?
Oh shit, that's everything. You need to be self-aware.
You very self-aware. I hear you keep saying the things that your flaws and how you gonna work on them and how you need to work on them. So
Somebody had to point them out to me. I started to forget them recently. And I do know this. And I'm gonna say I was behaving badly not too long ago. And I've apologized. And I've apologized more than 2 or 3 times. But my apology is worthless if there's no action behind it. So I am smart enough to know if I want what's right in front of me and all I have to do is change this, not everything, this, change that, man. Because if that's what you want, then go get it.
Right.
Because there's nothing I can't motherfucking have.
That's a fact.
But that person has self-respect and that person has limitations. And I have to respect that too. And I think in any relation, business, in the bedroom, in the boardroom, I don't care what it is, you need a level of respect. And nobody should ever speak down. You either partner, business, whatever.
Right.
Never speak down to one another. So self-awareness, check yourself every fucking day. Do it like you do a car. You turn your car on, check engine, check this, check it.
That's right.
Right? You can't clean your windows if you
That's
got no
right.
windshield wiper fluid.
That's a fact.
And it's every little thing in life.
That was a good analogy. I like how
I
you
know,
put
wasn't
that.
that? Oh, fuck,
That was
man.
a great
the
analogy.
smart shit is kicking
Check
in.
yourself how you check your cars, man. Ladies, check yourself how you check your lashes and shit. And your makeup kit.
There you go. But that's
no, for
it.
real.
Okay,
She
check your
said it.
like
That
your
was
lip
a penny for
liner.
her thoughts. I just
Right.
put my spin on it. It's
Okay.
happening, y'all. It's happening right here. Thank you again, Renee. This was definitely
thank
this
you.
is one of my
Kiss.
best.
We gotta do kiss. Mwah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
Italian. We're mushy people.
Italian style. Make sure you
All mobbed up.
Yeah, we mobbed up, man. She said I'm mobbed up too.
Fuck yeah! I just
All
gave
right.
you, and I gave you a business idea.
She stamped it. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We gonna talk more about that too. It's happening, y'all. It's happening right here on My Training Thoughts. Make sure y'all go like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel at My Training Thoughts, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at My Training Thoughts. Look out for episode 6. It's happening. It's happening right now. It's happening, y'all. Trust me, it's happening.